Hey guys, how you doing? Let me know in the chat section if you can hear me or not. I just wanted to go over this letter that was just released from iList, and it's a doozy. There's a lot of information on it. I literally just opened it up about 5 minutes ago, so I haven't had a chance to read through a ton of it yet. I just sort of skimmed it. But we are going to take a look at it together. So I just want to make sure that you guys are able to hear me. Actually, I hear myself coming through my phone right now. And guess what? I hope that this helps watching the chat on my phone so that way I could respond a little bit more quickly. So it looks like I'm on about a, 20-second delay. Happy Friday to all of you. It's been one hell of a week. It's always one hell of a week. Yeah, things are going good. Got a lot done in the real estate course this week, so I'm very, very happy about that. And I'm going to be updating my progress with you guys the next official live that we do, where we cover many, many topics, and I'm hoping to have many guests on as well. So, and hey, if you have worked with Zoom and OBS before, and you're out there and you're watching this video, and you have any suggestions on how to really combine the two, Zoom and OBS, please let me know. Hit me at bouffalofiresidechats@gmail.com, or just put it in a link in the comments section if you have any good information on how to integrate a live conversation via Zoom and linking it to OBS, for those of you that are familiar. So let's get right into this. I want to just dive into this letter. I know that we've waited all week to get something official from iList, so let's take a look. Sometimes my mouse is freezing. It's been freezing lately. Yeah, see? So I skimmed a little bit through this, so I'm going to make sure my volume's off. If you have any questions for me or any comments, please put them down in the comment section below. All right, so here it is. Given the importance of this update, we agreed that a letter was a more appropriate means of communication than video podcasts. Now, JP did put out a video just letting us know that they put out this letter. So, we would prefer that shareholders are first able to fully digest the high-level information in the letter, which will then be broken down in more detail by us in a series of video podcasts, which they are going to release next week. He did mention that in the video. This letter is split into sections, including news on uplift and an iList share lockup, followed by updates on the subsidiaries and general outlook. All right, let's look. First, QIND uplift. Let's take a look at what's going on here. I did skim this. The numbers look great. For those who are not aware, iList currently owns 75% of its subsidiary, Quality International. Therefore, the moves made by QIND are of significant benefit to iList as a company and the shareholders of iList, because we are the parent company. Yesterday, QIND announced the closing of its acquisition of 52% of Quality International. The execution of all closing documents followed the signing of the first binding agreement for the acquisition during the second quarter of 2022, and then signing of the share purchase agreement on the 18th of January 2022. QIND, I'm not sure if that was supposed to be, no, that's correct. QIND also acquired 51% of the UAE-based Petroline FZ on the 28th of January 2023, and I did cover that. Petroline is a profitable oil refinery with plans to build a second oil refinery later in 2023. QIND is also negotiating a third acquisition, that of a UAE-based industrial EPC company, generating in excess of $100 million per annual. All right, so listen, this is one thing that I want you guys to sort of like understand here, and this is one thing that we always got to remind ourselves. There are so many pieces to the iList puzzle, and we're going to go through this whole thing, but I got to just say this. Because I'm even messing up my own dates here because it's been 2 years and these guys they've done so much. They've acquired a lot. They're expanding their global footprint. But I think we need to understand is there are so many legs to the spider here. There really are. And so when somebody says, well, what does iList do? I can't have a flyby conversation and talk about what iList does. If you want to sit for a couple hours, I'm going to have to refine everything that I know. I know there's so much information here. I sometimes forget all the things that they're involved with. So you're going to see some big numbers here, numbers that no other OTC company is doing. And, for those of you down on the share price and really pissed off, listen, it's okay to be pissed off with the fact that your portfolio is red. But, and I've always said this from day one. I'm not flipping iList. This is a long-term investment for me. And what they've done in the last 2 years, I'm completely satisfied. Does the share price reflect their hard work and what they have accomplished? No, it hasn't. All right, let's keep going on. With upwards of 65 million in 2022 revenue and more than 115 million in assets. 2023 forecasted revenue in excess of 140 million and an existing order book of approximately 190 million. QIND is primed and ready for a big board uplist. An order book of, just shy of $250 million. We urge you to refer to our general outlook below with regard to macroeconomic conditions and its effect on our decision-making when navigating the growth of iList and QIND. We do not doubt that macroeconomic conditions are currently not conducive to a successful uplist of iList itself, certainly in the short term. This, however, it is not the case for QIND, which operates in high-demand, high-growth sector and has the revenue and assets to support itself sustainably on a big board and grow into a global industrial multinational. All right, the infrastructure manufactured within QIND is stable. Within the QIND stable is currently in high demand. The company services the oil and gas, renewables, and utility sectors, which are experiencing an influx of investment. In addition, several factors such as geopolitical instability in Europe, energy prices, environmental pressures, strong economic growth in the Middle East and the East, coupled with weaponization of the US dollar, and more all serve to support the reasoning behind a QIND uplist in this period. So, they are in a position to do that with QIND. Therefore, we are working with a well-known investment bank and working around the clock towards the uplisting of QIND, which we believe is possible during the summer of 2023. All right, QIND meets almost all criteria for an uplist with regards to its share price. QIND already has a very small float. Therefore, we are considering the most appropriate options to achieve the criteria, including that of a share buyback. We are thrilled about uplisting QIND and its potential benefit to iList shareholders. With iList owning 75% of QIND, which has approximately $300 million in valuation, we believe the current market cap of iList is severely undervalued, and so do I. And this should increase in the uplisting of QIND. We believe that the uplisting of QIND should lead to an increase in the iList balance sheet. And this should present a substantial opportunity for iList shareholders and interested parties, especially with the iList share price where it currently is. And you know what? I gotta say, as I say, I'm down almost 50%. It took a while for me I have a 10-cent average. I used to have a 6-cent average, but I averaged up, now I'm averaging down. This is a prime opportunity to buy. This is a long-term investment, if you truly believe that iList is gonna, they're already putting their money where their mouth is. You look at these numbers. This isn't your local mom and pop shop on the OTC. This isn't it. And you look at the iList share structure with all that they're acquiring, and they have really tamed the outstanding share count. It's barely moved. And look at all that they're doing. It's unbelievable. So yes, with QIND, this is a huge leg of the spider. Huge. So I don't know. Do I get bogged down in my mind from time to time with a couple of my long-term investments that are red? I do. I can't wait for the day, because it's going to happen eventually when the stock price reflects that of the valuation of iList, when we have even more enthusiastic videos. And I said the other day, I forgot who I said it to, if I like covering this stock now, when I'm down, I'm going to be in a state of euphoria once we start really moving. And I think that's going to happen very, very soon. And by very, very soon, I do not mean tomorrow or next week or next month even. This is a long-term hold. I've been investing with these guys for almost 2 years, and I'm approaching long-term capital gains on almost all of my investment. But you know what? With prices like these, you just got to keep adding, I guess. Let me see who's in the chat room right here. Lisa Matthews, how you doing? Jamie, Tom Stein, how are you guys doing today? I started out a little disheveled because I got to go live. This is really important. This is important stuff. And we waited all week for this. So cheers to all of you guys on news at the end of the week. And I sort of have my voice back a little bit, which I'm sort of glad. It was great to do our last live. I'm going to do live again. And believe it or not, before I go on here, I got to say, March 19th is the 1-year anniversary of Buffalo Fireside Chats. 1 year, and we're approaching 100 videos. I'm pretty surprised, not surprised, but I never thought that it would come this far in just 1 year. So thanks to all of you guys who have subscribed and hit a like button or shared or given me some hell in the comment section. That's okay. We're all here to share our thoughts. And we may not always agree, but let's keep this a respectful forum. And if you're watching this and you're invested in iList and you have not subscribed, just punch it. Punch that subscribe button, please. So it's good to see you guys here. Is that a Bud Heavy? Yes, this is a Bud Heavy. I do Bud Heavies. I don't do Bud Lights. Because if you're going to have an all-American Budweiser, just make it a Bud Heavy, I guess you could say. Good to have Sam Aker here. If you haven't, give him a follow on Twitter. He's covering a bunch of stocks all the time. He puts out articles all the time, and he has covered iList. And so give Sam Aker a follow. Gary, what is up? Richard, what is up? All you guys, good to have you here. I know like this is so random. I like doing the random stuff, whatever. But let's just keep talking about this. Let's see. As mentioned above, we are pushing forward with the uplisting of QIND at the moment. And once this uplisting has been successful and credible, we will work towards the uplisting of iList itself at the optimal time. Now look, there have been many uplists. There have been many IPOs. And we knew that last year the market didn't really favor the IPO market. So, I know that they want to ride this thing into a bull market. They want to ride this thing into an economic recovery. They don't want to, I'm trying to, just think of a good analogy. Do you know what I mean? I really can't, I don't know. It's like spitting in the wind. You know what I mean? They don't want to do that. All right. They want to launch as much as they can into an economic rebound and a bull market. So I know that they have the best intention for us. When I do speak with JP, he's very authentic, he's very sincere, and he does care about shareholder value. And they care about building it an absolutely astronomical business. Yes, I use the A word, astronomical. All right, while the uplisting of iList itself maybe possibly sooner, we as management make decisions based on the value created in the medium to long term, since the conglomerate being built will outlast the current noise. We do not believe we should uplist a company merely to tick a box and then watch the share price dwindle downwards again, as it has done with so many recent IPOs, as I just stated. We are soon to be navigating iList through one of the largest global recessions in history, and we strongly believe that the long-term shareholders will be grateful when our company stands strong, while those which are reactive and built on foundation of hype have collapsed during the recession. Market conditions across the board are deteriorating so rapidly, and with so much uncertainty in the market, we believe the best approach is to watch and ensure our readiness to make the move. We only get one opportunity to uplist iList, and it is most important to us that shareholders get the maximum value for each uplist. In current conditions, we cannot confidently say that we can deliver maximum value for iList shareholders if we uplist iList now. With that said, as mentioned above, we believe it is now the appropriate time for QIND. We trust that iList shareholders will understand the subsequent benefits of a QIND uplist and decision to prioritize the growth and strength of all iList subsidiaries through turbulent economic conditions. So I think that the rationale is clear. If you want somebody to say, we're going to the moon now, if you want somebody to say, we're going to the NASDAQ tomorrow. I forgot what stock I was listening to. And I'm not going to bash any stock. I listened on the way home today to MJWL. Now, whether you like them or not, or if you got burned by them, if you're bag holding, or if you're pro MJWL, I listened to their Twitter space. And it was so void, and it was so empty. And you know what? We are actually lucky. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. You know what? There wasn't much information given. Not to the point where we have a gem here with iList. We really do. There is so much freaking information that, and these guys do give it to us. I mean, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to pick on another stock, but I'm just making the comparison. Listening to another stock, Twitter space or podcast or whatever it's called, and listening to JP talk, there is actual substance here. There's numbers here too. The numbers don't lie. And if these numbers are this strong in an economic downturn, a global recession, just imagine if they build upon this and lay that concrete foundation, imagine how strong they're going to be. All right. Let me take a look at the chat here. All right. Let's see. Your tagline says, hanging out and talking some stocks and bourbon. Yes. Oh, I don't have bourbon. I do have bourbon, but it's not with me right now. Like I said, I just got home, so I'm literally hopping on. But I can tell you buffalo chicken wings and some bourbon is in the works for tonight. It's Friday, and it's been a long week. How will we profit from the stock? See, this is another thing. I'm gonna talk about that in a second. This means an uplift, informative letter, very informative letter. For those of you that have read it already, which I guarantee many of you have, you know how big this is. These with QIND, us owning so much of iList owning 75%, we get to report that to the iList books, and that's the beautiful thing. Same thing, and they're going to talk about iList share lockup here and the iList subsidiary. So let's talk about that, but it's going to benefit the parent company. And this isn't, and I don't think it's going to be immediate. It's going to, 5 years are going to go by, and you're going to turn around and look, and there's going to be 20 to 30 subsidiaries, and there's going to be lots of zeros. All right? And so lots of figures. I think, we're talking billions. We're talking 10 figures. All right? That's amazing. And they're doing it. And they said that they were going to do it, but it doesn't happen overnight. All right? A lot of these OTC companies they talk about, we're going to NASDAQ. It's all hype. It's all hype. I said the other day, where is one that has successfully gotten to the NASDAQ and sustained a proper share price for the company? I know that they're out there, but how many of these companies are actually successful? I'd rather have the share price lag now and pay the short-term pain for the long-term gain, and that's it. And it creates an opportunity for new shareholders, and I hope that we get a new wave of long-term shareholders. So let me take a look here. All right. Welcome all 34 of you watching this, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. All right, iList share lockup. We have spoken on several occasions, and I did cover this with JP in my recent video. I had him on. It was great. JP, if you're watching, thank you very much for joining me. And next time, don't worry, I will be on video. I'm not going to throw you a loop like I did, just audio only. We've spoken on several occasions, including comprehensively during our recent annual shareholder meeting, which was awesome, that we plan to commence an iList share lockup at the most opportune time. We have repeatedly stated that the lockup should provide maximum benefit to iList and all of its shareholders. Remember, for some of you that thought, some of you, it's not, it's only for certain shareholders. No, it's going to be open to everybody. I have him on the record saying that. Wednesday, I had him on the record saying that. I think it was Wednesday. Maybe it was Tuesday. I don't know. These days all blend together. With all factors considered, including the uplisting of QIND mentioned above and the direction of iList, we believe we can now progress with the iList share lockup plans. All right? This will be talked about further in a video podcast next week, including the consideration for iList shareholders and timeframes. The iList subsidiaries, and I don't think it's an accident that he put this immediately right after that, because this is really the big focus here, and he uses that word. Let me just look. I'm looking at the chat. So if I come off as rude, I'm looking down. I'm like a student in class that's on their phone. Get off your phone. No, CGRA hit hard today. I bought the dip. I really wish I could. It was hit hard. And they have a lot going on. So, it sucks. What can you do? But, you just got to look at it as an opportunity. If you're long in these plays, which like any Nick Link play that I am investing in, I'm not selling it for quite some time. I do see a lot of potential with CGRA. Man, I not only have 54,000 shares, and I wish, hindsight 2020, I wish I would have sold that last run. I could have doubled my share count. It's always going to be like that. But I'm sticking to my plan. That's it. So Jamie, despite the bourbon and bud comment, real question, I thought 77% was the number of ownership, but the note said 75%. But a typo, or has there been a small change in ownership? I'm not sure. I do remember that originally being 77%. Maybe it's a typo, but I mean, either way, it's a majority. So it doesn't make all that difference whether it was 75 or 77, for the time being. So I will double check that. If anybody in the chat section knows the exact percentage, well, I'm going to take the letter for what it's worth. It says 75%, so I'm going 75%. All right. How about iList 2? PM Righteous, good to have you. So those of you that are getting in CGRA now, like I have a 247, I think it is. Like, buying this dip is amazing, especially if you have a Nick Link conviction. Emergency Response Technologies, ERT. We are placing a strong focus on ERT at present, both in terms of acquisitions and product development. In line with this, we are soon to be expanding some key aspects of Firebug's production to the U.S. This is aligned with planned acquisitions. One such example is an acquisition in negotiation of a U.S. firefighting vehicle company with $65 million in 2022 revenue and a current vehicle order book of over $140 million. ERT is under the iList umbrella. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars again, another leg of the spider. The more we talk about M's, the more we're going to talk about B's. All right? The public safety sector is much more resilient against a downturn in the market, making it a priority for us to expand both our emergency response and defense subsidiaries in the short to medium term. There's much going on there with ERT. Let me know in the comment section. I want some speculation from you guys. Now, this is the place to do it. This is the time to do it. What is your speculation? Give me your forecast for 2023. What do you think is going to happen? I like sometimes to play the game. The old daydream of what if iList hit a couple bucks? What if iList hit $2.87? I would love that. just because that's my millionaire number. But hopefully that number goes down because I'll be purchasing more with more opportunity. So, right, only 2:30 p.m. here, so I have to get back to normal gig. All right, yeah, hey, get back to work, Jamie. Get back to work. How dare you? Guys, if you haven't already, hit the like button. It's great to have you here. All right, Quality Industrial Corp. We just covered that earlier, but let's read through it. Don't leave any stone unturned. Read through everything. I'm going to probably read this thing 10 times. I'm not even kidding. I may print it out, highlight some stuff just for reference. Just so I could just remind myself if I have a question. That's what, if you want to do good due diligence, you have to do that. You have to read. All right? And don't always take my word for it. Call me out if I make mistakes. No, don't. You'll make me cry. No, I'm just kidding. We are confident in our timing of Quality International acquisition in the first quarter already. Q1 has been awarded several contracts totaling over $40 million. This is in addition to their existing $150 million order book. And because we talked about the $190 million earlier. The Petroline refinery currently generates over $5 million per annual with high profit margins. Plans are in place to quadruple this revenue for 2024 following the addition of a second oil refinery. As mentioned above, QIND is working to add a third UAE acquisition with substantial revenue and assets. In addition, following the filings of its 10K, QIND should become penny stock exempt, which they are, as is the case already with iList. So, with revenues like that, they're not going to have any problem achieving that. Some people said, I saw on a comment somewhere, somebody's talking about delisting. Oh, you're on the verge of being delisted. Guys, listen. Enough with the comments. Just do the due diligence. And the sky isn't always falling. The share price might be, but the sky is not always falling. For these long-term plays, it's just you just you got to ride out the storm and you got to capitalize it, when better days come, when the sun comes out, cash in. Let me know, guys, what is your millionaire price for iList or CGRA or QIND? What is your millionaire price? Speculation, I think iList can easily get back to the high of 50. I think they can too. Absolutely. And I think it's going to be with substance this time. I think it's going to be with the fact that the value of iList is increasing. And I'll tell you right now, I believe in 3 to 5 years, iList, in a bull market, we're undervalued now. Things tend to be overvalued, So I do believe that they're going to get to a double-digit dollar share price. That's my hope. You know what? Do a lot of things need to happen for that to happen? Absolutely. But that's why I'm buying now, all right? And that's why I've bought for the last 2 years. And I also like to give a shout out to the Discord, iList Discord. You guys are hanging tough, and it's a good group there. So if you're not a part of the iList Discord, give it a check. Hyperion Defense Solutions. Now, I did reach out to Chris and Tim. Once they have some more substance in their acquisitions and stuff, and once things get the gears get going, I'm going to have them on the BFC. I did get confirmation from Chris. I told him the door is always open for Hyperion. So good luck, guys. Tim and Chris, if you're watching this, I hope you guys are busting your balls and getting some work done, all right? But no, they are. These guys are great. Talking to them at the annual shareholder meeting was great, and I really can't wait to get more insights on Hyperion Defense with them on the show. So Cheers to you too. So Chris and Tim from Hyperion are currently working in the United Kingdom to meet with partners and also to negotiate 2 potential acquisitions, as well as the purchase of intellectual property rights to revolutionary counter-IED technology. Hyperion has made excellent progress since the start of the year, and we expect them to be profitable during the course of the second quarter. So, yes, guys, come on, Tim, Chris, get those acquisitions. You got this, all right? I'm excited, very, very excited. Replay Solutions, our renewable subsidiary, which is primarily focused on urban mining at this stage, is negotiating the acquisition of an e-waste processing facility with hubs across the Middle East, Africa, and Europe. The company currently generates upward of $15 million per annum. Now listen, this is pretty exciting, and I did talk about this in the last live about all the junk that sits in people's drawers, the computers, cell phones, and all the elements that are used in these cell phones are valuable. So really, I just can't wait to learn more about this process. I'm pretty ignorant to it. So we're going to see what happens. Who knows what's going to happen? So, I mean, I guarantee you it could be lucrative if the process is done appropriately. And so it's nice that they're just getting this thing going, and we'll see what happens. General outlook. Here we go. As a fully reporting company, we have a fiduciary responsibility to update shareholders on the impact that the macroeconomic realities have on our business and our strategy. The bad news is that global economies are in a state of turmoil. Stock markets are experiencing a significant downturn. These are not excuses. These are facts. And although many may dismiss these facts for now, the evidence will become even more visible in global economies over the coming months. Gee, thanks to the positive outlook. No, but he's right. The majority of stocks for genuine revenue-generating companies are down at least 30% on average. All right? Exceptions are mostly the entities which are going through a period of hype or riding a wave of positive speculation. Essentially, it is a bloodbath in the market, and it will likely be for some time to come. We are already in a global recession, all right? And it's going to get worse to the point that we are possibly entering one of the largest global recessions in history. The only thing we don't know is how long the recession will last. All right, continuing on. Bud Strong, love it. Whether we like it or not, all right, it can't be ignored that macroeconomics has a massive impact on business strategy and its short to medium term roadmap. We are closely monitoring the markets and conditions in every region that we operate, and we remain agile in our decision making to ensure we remain on our growth path. Every growth-focused company is reevaluating their strategy right now and is specifically revising its strategy for their next 2 to 3 quarters. We believe that companies who are reactive and not planning ahead in line with the conditions will likely be underwater by the end of the year. In a run-up to an election campaign, news on the surface is often blurred, although on the street and in the thick of things where we operate, the market is severely depressed and access to capital is becoming extremely expensive. This is across the boards, not just on the OTC. Let me paraphrase that. It's a buyer's market now. And I'm just saying that, there could be there's going to be even more retracement, all right? I hope that's not the case, but these are all the indicators right now. However, we believe that the prevailing market conditions can be seen as a positive for iList shareholders due to the potential for iList to increase its valuation considerably in the short to medium term. In an economic downturn, attention often focuses towards solid companies with solid fundamentals and solid business plans, and this will start to translate in the markets too, where investors will focus more on investment into reputable companies with a solid track record, transparency, audited financials, and more, as opposed to business relying on hype, which is not sustainable at the best of times. Let alone during a recession. Investors will look to companies with products, technology, services, and manufacturing capability in growth sectors and or in sectors where grudge purchasing continues out of sheer necessity, such as defense and emergency response. Therefore, the good news is that iList is well-grounded and ready for what lies ahead in the recession. Let's take a look at the chat. Richard, welcome. All right, guys. I'm waiting for 50. Hell yeah. Give me 50. Where's Arlex? I think Arlex is working. I talked to him earlier. Or I called him earlier. He didn't answer. All right. Conclusion. Here it is. Oh, wait, I forgot a paragraph. I don't want to leave any stone unturned. A large number of senior managers who are running OTC companies have not previously steered their companies through a large global recession, whereas we have managed companies through the credit crunch of 2008 and much more. We are trimming the fat across the group and ensuring that we run a lean and efficient organization. We are ready with funding aligned to pounce on opportunities that arise in a depressed market. The market conditions present an opportunity for us to acquire companies at bargain prices, and we are poised to capitalize on this. Yes, love it. Great. Now let's look at the conclusion. In summary, iList has already delivered extraordinary growth and achievements in 2022, and we believe the value of our group of companies is not reflected in the current iList share price, with audited annual results to be filed soon. The QIND uplisting, an iList share lockup, and important acquisitions, we believe there's plenty to look forward to for iList shareholders in the short and medium term. We are well positioned and experienced to thrive and achieve milestones throughout a recession. While it may seem like doom and gloom, and the news around the markets is not particularly positive, and you may not have taken our letter as particularly positive, we would like to reassure you that we are extremely well prepared and positioned to execute and increase our growth trajectory. We believe that we are one of the stronger companies on the OTC as we head into this recession. And we believe that our strategy will deliver significant value for our shareholders during the course of the recession. So while there is important news as mentioned further above, from our perspective and knowing what is happening behind the scenes with so many companies in the OTC and on the NASDAQ, our most important good news is that there is no bad news, which cannot be said for many companies at the moment. We thank you for your continued support. Please look out for a series of videos, podcast starting next week. He goes on, and there it is, the sign off on Nick and JP. All right. So I think this is a freaking awesome update. I like the clarity of these guys. I've always liked their transparency. I've always liked their accessibility. So for me, it is what it is. I think they outline it. They outline it pretty fairly, I think. And I think that, like he said, and I'm going to look look for the exact quote, but where is the quote? I just want to look at it. I don't want to. What did he say? Oh, basically saying they're not excuses. They're really not excuses. These are just facts. They've done everything that they said they're going to do and then some. Think about when we first learned about iList, when we were talking about Mist Technology. Oh, Mist Technology, $20 million acquisition, $10 million possible acquisition. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars being acquired through subsidiaries, through getting these controlling blocks like we did with WSFT turning into QIND. Just think about that. They are going to achieve, hopefully, close to $500 million by the end of this year or by the end of next year. 3 to 5 years, multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. And if they launch into the NASDAQ, iList organically, launch into the NASDAQ in a recovering economy, it's going to respond much more positively, in my opinion. So, I don't know. Let me know some of your thoughts down below. Tom saying, I'll tell you, I'm tired. It's been a long day. So if I seem a little out of it, it's been a long day. But that's what you got to do. You got to work. You got to wake up at 4:30. You got to work. Yeah. Let me start from the top again, guys. No, but seriously, thanks for joining me on this journey, guys. It's going to be the 1-year anniversary of BFC in 9 days. But, man, this video, this letter is great. Thank you, Nick and JP, if you're watching this, for doing an awesome job at being transparent. And, these guys aren't applauding the share price. They understand that we have invested a lot of money. Just in the Discord alone, we're talking millions of dollars that have been invested in this company. And they know it. All right? I have a whole salary's worth invested in this company. Many of you do, and many of you have more. So it's something I take very seriously. If you don't see me cover iList day in and day out, it's because I like to wait for these moments of actual substance as opposed to riding on any speculation. There's plenty of platforms for speculation. You go to StockTwits. If you really want to get crazy, go to StockTwits, go to Twitter, go to various Discords. And, we all like to speculate from time to time, but when I put something out, I want to be as genuine as possible. I don't want to put out speculation and have it come off as this is probably what's going to happen. And that's just not in my character. I don't like doing that. I like to keep it real, and I like to keep it to the documents. That's why I have clung so much to the egal DD, because I know he's efficient. I know he's doing he's looking at every single sentence, for any type of breadcrumb, as we like to say in the iList community. Let me take a look here. Get Nick on the show soon. I'm going to hopefully have JP on soon, but I think that letter sums a lot up. It really does. I'd love to have Nick on maybe sometime in April. We'll see where it goes. I don't like pressuring these guys, and I don't like nagging them. I want them to be ready to come on graciously, and I appreciate the CEOs, managing directors, the vice presidents, all the people that have came on the show thus far. I really, from the bottom of my heart, truly appreciate it. Talking with those guys, it's awesome to sit down with people that are in the trenches of the business world, specifically the OTC, from Gian Kaizo, from Nicholas Coriano, Nick Link, Mark Schmidt. I'm going to have Brett Rosen on again. Well, we have a lot to talk about. And I would love to have Mark Schmidt on again, especially after, when we do get Pink Hearn. I'd love to have him on for another interview, and I would like to give him the floor. I tell any OTC company, any company that I reach out to, use this as a platform, and I've talked to, let's see, Justin Matthews of Levento. Welcome back on anytime. All of you guys are welcome on, just to give the real substantive information to your shareholders or potential shareholders. That's what this is all about, is information sharing and having a good time and having a bud heavy. It's important, especially on a Friday. But that's one thing I want to grow in this community is the information sharing. And though I may not be in every stock that I cover, I'm doing it for you guys, sincerely. So I could use Lisa Matthews as an example. You have a lot in DVLP, so why wouldn't I cover it? You've subscribed to my channel, I think, since day one. You were on the channel, if I'm correct. So, in like Miracle Investor, I look at the DD packet he put together in INQD. Total respect. Why wouldn't I cover something like that for a subscriber who's done great due diligence? I'm going to bring that to you guys, and that way, if you guys are invested in that stock, you could find some of that stuff useful. So let's see. Anybody else in the chat? This was great. Let me just say, it was great just to get on here and just do a quickie. Do a quickie. How long have we been going for? I don't even know. What day is it? Is it Monday? No. But listen, guys. I have chicken wings to make, and I'm not lying. I bought about 10 pounds of wings. I'm gonna have some friends over, and I'm gonna drink many Bud Heavies. No, I'm just kidding. You guys, listen. Remember, there is more that binds us than breaks us. You guys have an awesome day. Stay well. Peace.